Okay, so I just added this. This was not on the docket to talk about today, but I see the comments, and you guys love just eating up all that media BS that you see out there from mainstream media about Lamar. Okay, so there it is. The media continues to hate on Lamar Jackson. Like, guys, we did a video. You should check it out. I'll probably put that in the description later. On the media's obsession with Lamar Jackson. Okay. And we explained it. There are three main things that I broke it down into, three layers. The first layer is the obvious one. It's race. Okay. This is deeply rooted into the NFL. That's the first one. Second one is clicks. The media just wants clicks. Yes. Lamar's a polarizing player. He's very popular, and they know if they use his name, it will get clicks. So that's really the main reason. That's the main reason. They know if they say Lamar, you're gonna click on it. Not just us, everybody. Everybody loves. They love Lamar Jackson. They love talking about him. They love watching him. They love him. Yes. That's the main reason. Third reason is the need to be right. The media's need to be right. They got it completely wrong on Lamar Jackson, and there's a lot of egg on the face. And instead of just saying, "Hey, look, we just got it wrong. Let's move on," they want to find some victory in this whole thing, because they were completely wrong. And this is why me and B say, don't go 100% in one direction, no matter how you feel about something. When you guys are arguing with us about Prochet or Justin Houston or whatever, don't go all the way in on it, because you could just be completely wrong. If me and B get it wrong about these guys, one for me, I'm a Raiders fan. I'm happy about that. Like, if Prochet comes in and turns into that Antonio Brown type of player, that makes me happy. If Justin Houston can be Justin Houston from 2014, that makes me happy. Okay, if Oweh can be, I don't even want to say Julius Peppers because that's never going to happen. But do it. But that would make me happy. So, but for the media, they just completely wrote off Lamar Jackson, and now their credibility is kind of shot a little bit, right? Some of these guys that you trust as analysts and they're respected as analysts, it's just like, damn, you don't know what you're talking about. So now they're trying to find little ways to show that they were still right about it. So, look, guys, this is why I hate mainstream media, man. I hate it. Like, I didn't even want to talk about it. It's such nonsense, but I get it, man. Like, you guys watch it. It's everywhere, and you guys want to discuss it, and you can come in here and discuss it, man. It's fine. It's fine.
Yes. And we got some comments here. Eric saying, "Thank you. Let's never forget our story." Absolutely.
Thank you.
Want to keep highlighting stories that we really don't get taught at all in this country.
Yeah.
And just with what you're saying about Lamar, it was the same thing with Cam Newton, right? And it's still going on to this day. I don't know if you saw, but Cam, he violated some protocols, and so he had to stay away from the facility for 5 days. Something with being tested somewhere where he wasn't necessarily supposed to be tested, something like that.
Yes.
And so Mac Jones went out there and had a good day of practice against the New York Giants. And immediately it was just Mac Jones just won the job, and like celebrating it, like cannot wait for Cam to get what's coming to him, and for running around smiling all these years and doing all this charity work and just playing well and sacrificing his body for the game and everything. And it's just they delight in thinking that maybe he's done.
Yeah, Cam Newton is really, it didn't start with Cam Newton, obviously, but Cam Newton was where it really caught my attention. Like, really, really caught my attention. It first caught my attention when Donovan McNabb just first came out and just said, "Hey, look, black quarterbacks got to do more than their white counterparts." Yeah. Right. And everybody was against him on that, man. I remember a lot of quarterbacks at that time. You had Jason Campbell, you had Vince Young. They're all, and Vince Young, I think he was like a rookie at the time. He didn't know any better, but they're all like, "Oh no, I don't agree with that. This isn't that." Yeah, okay, all right. Now it's spitting the truth.
Well, yeah. To be fair, they weren't really at a point in their careers where they could just come out and agree with that.
Right.
Yeah.
But when Cam came into the league, that's when it was painfully obvious to a lot of people, right? Because I remember they made a big deal about his play calling. Remember that? And they're just like, "Well, who was it? Was he in Gruden's camp or something like that? The QB camp?"
So. Yeah.
Or Gruden's grind or whatever. He did that interview. And
what's up, Tanja?
What's up, Tanja?
Us too.
And he was asking them about different types of plays that he called. And he said, I never really called anything too complex in college. That's just not what we ran. And I remember they made such a big deal about that. Oh, he doesn't know complex play calls. He doesn't know how to do this and that. Oh, how's he gonna make it in the league? In his first year or first 2 games, he threw like 300 or 400 yards in those games. Right?
Yeah, 400 yards his first couple of games, and but yeah, it was just this immediate rush to say that Cam Newton's not smart enough to be an NFL quarterback. And then you go on the other end with old sunshine Jared Goff, who didn't even know how to take a snap, and it was, oh no, he'll be okay. He's got the talent, and they'll work with him, and he's a franchise quarterback. And I do want to stop here. We did get a Cash App. So I want to say thank you. He says, love your work, brothers. And man, we really, really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Also, I didn't mention it. If you see a pinned comment, you should, if you're on YouTube. That is how we do our super chat. Okay. Super chat isn't enabled. And even when we hit the point where we can enable super chat, we're not going to turn it on. If you want to donate, you want to highlight a comment, you hit up that Streamlab, donate on there. We'll read your comment on air. Very soon there will be graphics. So when you donate through Streamlabs, there'll be something that comes up on the screen. We haven't quite figured out how we want it set up yet, but there'll be something on the screen. So your comment will be read. But Cam, it was the same thing. Yeah. Fake smile. Remember that dude, Noraki or whatever his name was, said he had a fake smile. That was his scouting report. I don't know what kind of scouting report that is, but all that. And then he wins the league MVP. Right.
Yeah. And again, at that point, you're wrong. Yeah. I mean, he won Rookie of the Year. He took Carolina to the Super Bowl. He won MVP. You're wrong. But still years later, you're just preying on his downfall.
Exactly.
And it's terrible to watch.
Yeah. So this is why we really criticize the moves that the Ravens make. We want to make sure they're making the right moves, because it's not just with Cam. It's with looking at history. They've done this with most black quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. They don't get them the proper support. They don't get all 3 things, right? Support from your coaching staff, protection on the field, and weapons. Usually they don't get all 3 things that a lot of quarterbacks do. They usually get 1, maybe 2. Now Lamar, I would say, is starting to get all 3.
Yeah.
The protection we'll see this year. Usually they do a good job protecting their quarterbacks. I'm not worried about that long term. The weapons is what I'm really focused on right now.
Right.
So, but what you're hearing from the media, it's not going to stop. Lamar can win MVP again this year. They're not going to stop.
Will win MVP again this year. We should probably mention why we're even talking about this. I don't think we actually said. I believe it was Jeremy Fowler came out and said, he's hearing from.
I wasn't going to say his name, but okay.
Oh, well, my bad. But people hearing from people in the league that they think that this is the year that they figure out Lamar Jackson. And what does that even mean? Like Raven Ron was saying, you can't figure out how to stop Lamar Jackson from running the ball, and you don't stop anybody from throwing in the NFL. Like, it's easy to pass. So I'm not sure what figuring out Lamar even entails, but it's that time of year.
Listen, the league has seen something like this before with Michael Vick. They've seen something like this before with Cam Newton. Like, it's not like he's doing something that the league has never seen before.
Yeah. They know exactly what it is. Randall Cunningham. Was that type of player. And you don't figure those players out. They go out there, they play their game for as long as they can, and then they start to decline like every other player. And then people are like, "Oh, we figured them out. See, they never last. They don't win."
So, and this goes back to, and I call it the black quarterback treatment. How the organization treats these black quarterbacks. These players never get figured out. They never get figured out. What gets figured out is the scheme, because the scheme doesn't change, and it goes to that's an indictment on the coaching staff, because they think, well, he can only do this, or he's best at doing this. So we gotta simplify this. So we gotta, make it this way. And it's too predictable. And that's going on with Lamar a little bit, because I don't know if you guys saw our man RG3 on TV. I saw that clip and he was talking about it. He kind of let the cat out the bag. I mean, it was obvious, right? But he said, yeah, the play calling was predictable. He's like, every third down, you had Lamar run up the middle. He's like, even when I was in there, they had me run up the middle on the third down play. It was just too predictable.
And that's the other element that you see with black quarterbacks a lot, is that, even if they have the support of the coaching staff isn't very good. And a lot of times you'll see that because, the players that we talk about generally are exceptional players, and they elevate the team, and they save those coaches' jobs.
Yeah.
Not that John Harbaugh's a terrible coach or anything, but again, Lamar saved his job in his rookie year. Deshaun Watson in Houston saved Bill O'Brien's job. Cam saved Ron Rivera's job a number of times. And so, you just kind of stick with what you're doing, and you have these, a lot of times, uber conservative coaches who just don't really know how to use those quarterbacks, right? And so, it becomes a career-long thing. Like, oh, well, they're just a runner. They can't beat you from the pocket and blah, blah, blah. When, like we said, it's really about a lot of times lack of protection, lack of weapons, and just, ancient thinking in terms of the scheme.
Yeah. But, they're not going to stop saying these ridiculous things. The only thing you can do is just meme these idiots when they say dumb things. Like he said something about, oh, well, what happens if they're down and he has to throw the ball 40, 50 times? Everybody knows if you're throwing the ball 40, 50 times, it's because your team is doing really bad.
Right. No quarterback wins throwing it 50 times. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I understand it's annoying because Lamar was the 5th quarterback drafted that year.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield's the number 1 pick that year. And Baker Mayfield is another polarizing figure, right? He has that fiery personality, if you will. He's doing progressive commercials. You see him on TV a lot. He does a lot of talking. Mm-hmm. And there isn't half the coverage on Baker Mayfield that there is on Lamar. And Baker has a lot to prove this year. Now, Baker had a pretty good year, good bounce back year last year, but he needs to get paid this year too. He's the number 1 pick overall, and he might have to. He's on a prove it year. I think. I don't think he's going to get a deal done during the season. I think they'll have to wait until the end of the season to see how he does. There's a lot of pressure on him, and there's just no talk about that.
Yeah.
There's no talk about Josh Allen, who just got a big deal done. There's pressure on him too to live up to that deal.
Well, yeah. If you said that Josh Allen played poorly in his first couple of years, which he did, you were just a hater.
Yeah.
And it's fine to say, that a player is playing poorly when they are, right? Josh Allen was playing poorly. He didn't last year. He played great last year, and it's fine. But, with Lamar, we have to figure out how to explain to you that he's not really good despite what you're seeing on the field every week, despite him winning MVP, despite him going over 1,000 yards rushing, despite him leading the league in touchdown passes, despite him being 30-7 as a starter. He's really not that good. That they feel like the need to try to explain that to you. Yeah. Kenyon Ricketts, the media criticized Russ too, and he had an off year with an organization that doesn't protect him. Not only doesn't protect him, that is absolutely true, but he was that quarterback who was just throwing nonstop the second half of the year, and it doesn't work. You have to have some semblance of balance.
Yeah. The one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is bad coaches, man. There are a lot of bad coaches. There are a lot of bad front office personnel in the NFL. The NFL, we think because you see that we see that shield and it says NFL, you assume that it's the best of the best. On the field, yes. In the front office and coaching staff, not even close.
Right.
Not even close, because it's they get those jobs 100% based off of nepotism.
Well, listen, even sometimes on the field, it's not the best of the best.
True.
We did see that I believe Andy Dalton is going to be starting in Chicago. So, there's that. They haven't announced Trey Lance as a starter in San Francisco. So there's that.
Well, that was something else that we were supposed to talk about. We can get into that later on as well if you want to. We'll read a couple more of these comments, and then we're going to get into Robbie Anderson, and then we'll circle back around about some of these quarterbacks that should not be starting.
Like once I remember in 2019 when Mike Florio thought that Drew Lock had better mechanics and vision than Kyler Murray. Yeah, Drew Lock is getting the a vision of Teddy Bridgewater right now. He was just announced as the Week 1 starter. Oh, Teddy. I'm happy for Teddy, man. Teddy he's gotten a raw deal.
He has.
NFL.
He has.
And that's not even, not to say that, organizations did him dirty or anything like that. I mean, that injury in Minnesota really, really derailed him. He was able to come back and rehab with New Orleans and kind of rebuild that image, and then Carolina, and we all know nothing good comes out of there.
Panthers fans are in here. Don't be surprised when you see Teddy outplay Darnold this year. Don't be surprised that happens. Teddy's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. I'm working with that assumption until Sam Darnold proves otherwise. And he goes out there and has a good year, or at least a solid year for Denver, and Darnold does less. Okay, you guys hated Teddy Bridgewater last year, but it's not Teddy. Teddy's not the problem.
Right. Yeah, because even with a not great year, he's just, I mean, you look at Sam Darnold and you're like, oh, he's big, he's athletic, he has this huge arm, he should be better.
Yeah,
but he's not.
All right.
I got Deet.
We'll go on it and then we'll go to Deet.
Yeah.
I hope they keep putting pressure on the quarterback, because at the end of the day, the pressure is going to end up on the coaching staff and above. You mean putting pressure like the media putting pressure on the quarterback? Because usually coaches are always protected because they're the ones that control media access. That's why they don't usually get the criticism unless they're clearly on their way out. Like Adam Gase was terrible everywhere he went.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the very end that they really started. They didn't criticize Adam Gase when one of his coaches was snorting coke in the facility. They didn't criticize him then.
Right. So Just Allo, what's going on? Just Allo, he says quarterbacks who have thrown the ball 50 or more times since 1950 have a 215 winning percentage. Yes.
Yeah.
Because throwing the ball 50 times means you're getting beat bad.
Yeah.
Adit said, I'm convinced that the media doesn't believe anything they say about Lamar. His name brings up clicks. That's why they regurgitate the same BS about Lamar, but word it differently to sound slick. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure there's a few who actually believe it. But yeah, the majority is just trying to get attention.
Look, it's really hard for me to watch mainstream media now, because a lot of it is just performance, right? You're not getting real opinions. You're not getting real analysis. They have these pre-production meetings where they script exactly what they're going to say. And it sounds like WWE to me now. It sounds like somebody has to play the heel, somebody has to play the good guy, and they're yelling. And it's like, man, it's 7:00 in the morning. I don't need you yelling in my ear. Just tell me what you think without yelling and getting all animated. But they had to put on this show because they know that's what gets clicks. That's what's going to get people paying attention to them. But there's a lot more competition out there. So they had to say these wild and outlandish things to get you to pay attention to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Guys, this time, well, yeah, we started about a year ago. I think we're coming up on a year. Our goal was 100 subscribers by the end of 2020. We hit that. And they're like, oh, okay, well, maybe we can go to like 200, something like that. And then our goal for 2021 was 500 subscribers. All right. But you guys have really supported the show. We appreciate you. 1,000. I'm not sure when we're going to hit 1,000, but as soon as possible. We would love to hit it around the beginning of the football season. So make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends. Yes, 1K, baby, 1K. That's what I'm talking about. Also follow us on our social medias. I don't plug that enough. At LBHT Show, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We are going to be posting more on Instagram. My Instagram game is really bad, but I'm going to get that up. Okay, you might start seeing some things on TikTok as well here pretty soon. So go ahead and start following. And we're gonna give you guys some more stuff coming up here.